Welcome to the Mind Body Couple podcast.
I'm Tanner Murtaugh.
And I'm Ann Hampson.
This podcast is dedicated to helping you unlearn chronic pain and symptoms.
If you need support with your healing, you can book in for a consultation with one of our therapists at painpsychotherapy.ca.
Or purchase our online course at embodycommunity.com to access in-depth education, somatic practices, recovery tools, and an interactive community focused on healing. Links in the description of each episode. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome. We are back. We took a few weeks off this month.
Yeah.
From podcasts. So me and Ann were away with our kids.
Yeah.
And then our producer, Alex, got some nice time away as well. But we're hoping to be a little more consistent moving forward for everyone.
Yes. And so we're excited to have a podcast for you right now.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the topic of how to overcome negative thinking about your chronic pain and illness.
Yeah. And I like this topic because I think at least 3/4 of the people I talk to, Tanner, struggle with negative thinking around their chronic pain and illness, which makes sense.
Yes. Now, in today's episode, we are going to explain how negative thinking can trigger and worsen your chronic pain and illness. We're going to explain a vital skill you can start using to change your thinking. And also stick around until the end of this episode as we're providing a free shifting mind to body meditation that is from our digital course.
Awesome.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When most of us experience chronic pain and symptoms, our thinking can become negatively biased. I find this is like so common with almost every person we work with. Hey, Ann?
Yeah, for sure it is.
Now, these thinking habits may have been even present for a lot of people before their pain and symptoms developed.
Mm-hmm. And they might come in forms of fearful, hopeless, self-critical, or obsessive thoughts that can trigger and perpetuate pain and symptoms.
Yeah, and I find, like, even for myself, like when I had chronic pain and symptoms, I was obsessed with it.
Yes.
No question about that.
Yeah.
However, little Tanner, when I was like 5, 7 years old.
Little Tanner. I'm imagining little Tanner.
It's funny because maybe people don't know this. You haven't met me, but I'm like really little.
He's like still little. He's
like,
little Tanner still.
I didn't grow much from age 7 to 35. But littler Tanner,
yes,
at age 7, I was obsessed with things. I would get locked onto things. It would almost become overexcitement and then like distressing.
Right.
But it just took off when my pain and symptoms developed.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people this happens where they may have had some of these negative thinking patterns.
Or obsessive tendencies.
Yeah, and they just like took off when their pain and symptoms occurred.
And again, that makes sense why that might happen. And I want to take a moment to validate why that happens. Because I think often when we're faced with something that we perceived as a problem, we want to think about it.
Yeah. And it's just so vital to understand. I know we've said it already like 5 times, but these negative thinking patterns can trigger and perpetuate your symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Really vital to understand that connection. And the reason is it causes our nervous system to become further dysregulated.
Yeah, and that's key. I almost think you should say that line again, Tanner.
Yeah, these negative thinking patterns will dysregulate your system, which is going to sensitize your system, which is going to produce pain and symptoms.
Yeah. And we're talking about negative thinking patterns. Like that's a big focus for today. But again, obsessive rooted thinking patterns that usually have a negative slant anyways as well.
Yeah. And I find a lot of people that we work with in this mind-body space, they have these pathological beliefs about their body, these fearful beliefs about movements or activities and other things triggering their symptoms.
Yes.
And these pathological views, they just feed what we call the sensitization cycle. So you have pain and symptoms, and then you have a dysregulated response. The more dysregulated you get, the more pain and symptoms. So it
Yeah.
just starts to feed naturally this cycle.
And a big step is starting to recognize that cycle in yourself and however that shows up.
Yeah. I think a lot of times our producer Alex talks about this. I like how he talks about this. He has people consider the power of their thinking.
Ah,
It's really vital.
yeah.
And the power can be in the right or wrong direction,
Yes.
unfortunately. Because with neuroplasticity, these patterns of thinking can wire our brain towards suffering or healing. These thoughts guide our nervous system towards regulation or dysregulation. And this thinking, it's not just this metaphysical experience. These beliefs and ideas directly impact your physical body.
Yeah, and this is actually this podcast because often we're talking about kind of ignoring thoughts, but this is a really good podcast to talk about where thoughts do make an impact and where we need to pay attention.
Yeah. I find in our approach, like even you consider our course,
Yeah.
the somatic safety method.
Yes.
So obviously in the title, we're very focused on the somatic,
Mm,
but I do think these thoughts, these belief systems, we do need to do some work with them.
yeah, and it has a place. And really taking a moment to maybe pause and think about how much do I have that negative feedback loop going on is super important because that can be happening all the time in the background and we don't even realize it.
Yeah. I think it becomes such a familiar place for people to sit
Yeah.
that they don't even realize when it's happening. And we can gain, a sense of safety and empowerment by developing safer thinking patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to tell a little story now
Mm-hmm.
about me and Anne.
And how we've been in the throes of like negative thinking lately.
Yeah. And so we had a rough night.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
It's interesting because me and Anne, one of our benefits is we tend to get anxious about different things and at different times.
Totally. We're not usually both in high anxiety at the same time, which is good.
It's
It's
helpful.
important.
It's helpful. We got one person that's creating safety and connection for the other.
It's usually me.
Oh, you don't have to just
I'm like
throw
the
in.
anchor
You are the anchor,
of
Anne.
our households
You are the anchor of our household.
lives. But anyway, go on.
It's hurtful, but true.
Yeah.
A lot of times, when I'm anxious, Anne will support me. When Anne's anxious,
Yeah.
I'll support her. Now, last night, we put our kids to bed.
We're both
And we're
very
both-
anxious about different things.
We're both spiraling in our mind about different things. Now, I'll let Anne go first to explain her aspect, and I'll
Yeah.
explain mine.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to talk about is an area where I've definitely been struggling with negative thinking and obsessive negative thinking.
Mhm.
And so, as some of you guys might know, we've been mentioning that I do equine assisted therapy. And I've been in that world for a number of years. And I've been leasing a horse, but I recently bought him. It's been about 2 months. And since I've purchased him, I've been in fear spiral like no other. And I've been terrified and I've been obsessive.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to keep that on the down low because I've been trying to kind of pretend that's not going on and hiding that from Tanner.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I came home and I just shared with him that I have been Googling how to be a horse owner obsessively,
Yeah.
constantly throughout the day. My horse, he struggles with arthritis. And once the vet confirmed that, I was like just spiraling out of control, Googling everything I can about arthritis. I've been going down all these rabbit holes. I've been not believing people in my life saying, oh, he seems fine.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm relating in some ways to that Google obsessiveness need to fix.
Yeah. It's specifically just about chronic pain, even.
Yeah, about
But
his
more-
pain.
but more about your horse and his condition. And
Yes.
And yeah, like I think it's so sneaky, right? Because it starts
Yeah.
small.
Well, and that really snuck up on me in terms of like, oh, I need to figure this out, control it in this background of like, I'm not good enough or I can't do this negative thinking
Yeah.
going on.
And we talked about this last night. And one thing me and Ann are very aware of as therapists
Yeah.
is try not to do too much reassurance seeking
Right.
because I think this is so common. I'm all for people getting support from family members and friends. This is like this double-edged sword. I'm open for people getting support. I want people to feel supported and validated for what they're going through. But
Mhm.
what you see often when they have people in their life, like when I had pain,
Mhm.
it was the same thing. I'd ask you over and over again. Am I doing the right thing? Should I do this?
Yeah.
Do you think my pain's getting worse? Like I wasn't just talking for support to you. It was almost this reassurance seeking. And so I think when either of us are obsessive thinking, we're pretty careful with each
Yeah.
other in that way. Because the thing about like reassurance, it'll provide like a slight moment of relief, and then it's just going to escalate everything.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing is looking for that reassurance, looking through kind of like, the Google trap of like, I need a bit of reassurance here. And then it's been increasing my fear. And my fear and obsessive spiral has been giant. It's been in the
Yeah.
way of like my kids and my family. Like it's just taken over my mind. And the
Yeah.
more I feed it, the worse it's getting.
Yeah. And we had a good talk last night, and we're
Yeah.
going to explain the skill after our stories here that you can start to utilize. But we did some problem solving.
Yep.
We decided
To no
to
more Google.
no more Google.
Which is funny because I tell people that all the time when they're stuck in obsessive thinking or when clients talk to me about obsessing
Yeah.
about their pain and symptoms. Um, so I know that, but as you're right, it's very hard to put into
Yeah.
action.
Now, one thing we're going to talk about in the skill we're going to explain is this ability to shift from your mind to your body.
Yes.
And Anne's ability to do that compared to mine is far greater.
Wow.
You do like you. I've seen it, and even last night after our kids were settled or watching our show, like I almost like felt the shift that happened with
Yeah.
you because we're watching Grey's Anatomy right now,
Yeah.
and Anne was all of a sudden like laughing with the TV, like
Yes.
in the present
I
moment. There was a shifting out of that spiral that took place.
Yeah, well, and that's right. And I was able to be present and present focused and a little bit of like that radical acceptance of like, oh, yeah, this pattern is not helpful. There's only so much I can do or control and leaning into that and then allowing myself to be present. But
Yeah,
it helped with talking to you about it, Tanner, of like almost like confessing to you of like, this is where I'm at and I'm struggling.
yeah. And we re-examined your thoughts, and then you
Hmm.
kind of shifted out.
Yeah.
You shifted out to the behaviors, to being in your body with the pleasantness of laughing and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, last night,
Mhm. So in that, Tanner was also in high anxiety.
yeah, so I have like some business changes going on at work. We're
Mhm.
bringing on some new therapists,
Yeah.
so good things.
Yeah.
But I find that pressure, it makes me start to worry. It
Mhm.
makes me start to obsessively think. And this wasn't going on as long as like Anne's talking about her thing, but this was just the last, 3, 4 days
Yeah.
being caught in that. And that was it. Like I became really aware of it. I noticed like, oh yeah, I'm back here again. This is such a familiar pattern that I fall into,
Yeah.
but it was sneaky.
Well, and was there when we think of that like negative thought process, was there a negative
Yeah.
kind of theme going on for you, Tanner?
Yeah, like I think, we got back from holiday, we got thrown back into work. Like there was a lot of like moving pieces and stressors
Yeah.
that like escalated everything. But I dove into doing the work. Like last night, I did an anxiety meditation
Yeah.
on my own. I did that upstairs in our bedroom while
Yeah.
lying down. And then this morning, I did some qigong. And during qigong, I was giving myself some safe self talk about the
Ah.
situation. So there was a shifting to safety.
Well, and I like that because it sounds like it was very intentional, where you're like, okay, I recognize this has been going on. I'm going to intentionally shift.
Yes, because I know that the quicker I catch it, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to explain a skill here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this skill originates from pain reprocessing therapy.
Yeah.
We outline it pretty greatly in our therapy practice and also in our digital course. And this skill we call the 3R skill. So we'll explain it briefly, but we're also going to provide the meditation in a minute here that people can go and practice.
Yes.
Now, the 3R skill has 3 steps. I'll start with the letter R.
All right.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
And, the first R we call realize.
Mm.
So you realize that fear thoughts, despairing thoughts, critical thoughts, obsessive thinking is occurring. Like for myself, when I was obsessing about my business and worrying about it, if that had gone on for 2 months compared to 3 days,
Yeah.
would have been way harder to change.
Yes.
But that realizing, the quicker you can bring awareness that you're dropping into negative thoughts, the better.
Well, and something for me, because I think I've been knowing for a couple of weeks now that I've been dropping into negative thoughts around this. I feel like a turning point for me yesterday is I finally decided to maybe share that or
Yeah.
do something about it.
Yeah, you almost named it out loud.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So that again, that's that realize and then really name this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Now I need to shift.
Yeah. And this kind of leads into the second R, which we both actually did last night. Re-examine. Look at where and what you're focusing on, the ideas and conclusions, and the story that's being told. So you're re-examining. Now, I'm careful with people, especially obsessive types like myself. If you're re-examining your thoughts for 20 minutes, you're not doing it right.
Like people you're back into obsession.
Yeah, people get like debatey.
Yes.
Where, for example, they're trying to re-examine that their symptoms actually are neuroplastic, that there's nothing wrong with their body. But they almost get into debate mode where they're going back and forth.
Okay.
And that's not helpful. But, I saw you do this last night where you re-examined, you realized, okay, a lot of the things I'm thinking, definitely not true.
Yeah.
And definitely not helpful.
Yes.
Because that's essential. It's the realizing, but then the re-examining that takes place following it.
And then allowing yourself to land there. So again, back to this idea of not re-examining for 20 minutes over and over again. It's like, okay, I thought I looked at it, I re-examined. I'm trusting that re-examine.
Yeah. And you may not fully believe it at first.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Like last night when I was re-examining my thoughts, I believed it a bit, but I wasn't fully bought in. But after doing a meditation last night, some Qigong this morning, using safe self-talk, the belief developed over time.
I have to say I did one final look at ChatGPT of my Googling after our conversation, and I was like, no more. And I haven't since.
Yeah, you caught yourself. You had a little relapse.
I had a little relapse. But okay, but this also speaks to of like, okay, trying to shift, it might be a bit of a process.
Yeah.
It might be a bit of journey of like, oh, I need to kind of now work a little bit more at shifting away.
Yeah. So these first 2 R's, like to realize, re-examine, you're going to have to probably do them repetitively. And we want it to be pretty quick. Now, the last R is where you can get creative.
Yeah.
Restore. You can restore safety in your nervous system, cognitively, behaviorally, or somatically.
And that's where that somatic piece comes into this.
Yeah. Now, first off, cognitively, you could give yourself a more balanced line of thinking. Use some safe self-talk about your pain or symptoms or about whatever you're going through in life, which, is really essential. It's probably the quickest way to use the 3 R's, where you realize, okay, I'm having fear thoughts, you re-examine, okay, that's not true or helpful, and now I'm just restoring by giving myself a cognitive message that is more balanced.
Yeah.
Now, you could do this with behaviors, or you restore by shifting to a behavior. Shift to a behavior that brings about a sense of meaning, something that you value, brings about a sense of pleasantness or ease. It's one of my favorite ones. I do this all the time at night, Anne knows I do this, where if I'm lost in thoughts, I'm shifting to playing with our dog.
Yeah.
It bothers
me. Actually,
Anne.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was like part of shifting for
you didn't know that?
No, I just knew that. I just thought you were being nice to the dog.
Well, I also be nice to the dog. We play keep away with her bone.
Yeah.
But then she gets a little wild and
it
bothers Anne.
Well, it doesn't bother me. I just have to say she gets a bit like play biting and, I don't want to get too into that because of our young children.
She's excited
at home.
She's so happy. Come on.
I know. She likes it.
Now, the last way you can restore, which is going to be the meditation we're about to provide you, is somatically.
Yeah.
This is one of the most essential things. You are shifting from your mind into your body. We want to teach our brain that we don't need to focus so much on the chatter in our mind, the story in our mind.
Mm.
We can shift to the body.
And so that again is spending a little bit of time changing our thoughts, kind of going safety messaging cognitively, but then really spending time in our body instead. Because
Yeah.
a lot of time when we're trapped in like negative fear spirals and obsessive thinking, we're just so used to being up in our heads.
Yeah. Now, a great line that Deb Dana, a famous polyvagal therapist, talks about is story follows state.
Yeah.
And I think this is really essential. It's sometimes it's okay to just focus on changing your thoughts, but story follows state is just the understanding that the state of your nervous system, the state of your body, often is directing the story in your mind. So a great example of this is if you wake up feeling anxious, what's the story going to be in your mind that
It's
develops?
going to be an anxious
Yeah,
one.
even if the things in your life are completely safe,
Yeah.
it's going to be filled with fear and obsessiveness.
Yes.
If you're in complete shutdown in your nervous system, what's the story that's going to follow?
It's probably going to be a depressed one.
Depressed one, right? Like it's going to be despair, it's going to be hopeless, helpless.
Yeah.
And so the reason we're shifting from mind to body, in my opinion, is that you're going to the source that might be driving all this.
Hmm.
So you're shifting into your body, you're exploring unpleasant sensations, pleasant sensations, and neutral sensations. And you're teaching yourself that you can create safety in your body, and the story in your mind naturally will fade off and shift.
Well, and for you, Tanner, when it comes to pain and symptoms and healing, when you started to do that, what did you notice about the story you would have afterwards with pain and symptoms?
Like after I did the skill,
Yeah.
I noticed that it would become less extreme
Hmm.
in nature, or I noticed myself just not buying in.
So the story wasn't fear based anymore.
Yeah. Like it wasn't as fear-based, or it was fear-based, but it didn't have the same like sting. Like I didn't fully buy into what it was happening because I understood my body was kind of directing it. Now, we are going to provide a free meditation for you now that comes from our digital course, the Somatic Safety Method. Now, this is a 3R meditation, so it helps you go through the 3Rs and shift from mind to body. Now, we want people to be safe. If the sensations inside of pain, emotions, dysregulation are too intense right now, this is not an ideal time to do this meditation. So, you want things to be more mild to moderate in nature. This meditation, I never suggest people do when they're in the middle of a panic attack because it's just too much. You're better to go use some strategic avoidance. So, just make sure as we dive into this that you feel like you're in a good place to go through this practice. So let's dive into it.
This is a 3R somatic practice to support you in shifting from mind to body. Begin by closing your eyes or lowering your gaze. At first, attending to your breath, inhaling through the nose, filling your belly full of warm air, and exhaling through your nose softly and slowly. Now, we are going to shift to observing your thoughts from a detached, not judgmental, and curious place. Thoughts occur on a stream of consciousness. Thoughts come into consciousness, go by, and eventually fade out. Imagine you're sitting on the bank of this stream of consciousness, detaching yourself from the thoughts going by. For a moment, practice observing your thoughts going by from a curious place. Notice what is occurring with your thoughts. Do they go by quickly or slowly? Are the thoughts based in fear, frustration, or despair? Are the thoughts all about the same topic and obsessive in nature? You may even notice that every once in a while, a thought latches onto you and drags you down the stream. If this occurs, practice letting go of the thought gently and return back to observing your thoughts from a detached and curious place. Spend a moment re examining the thoughts, realizing the thoughts that are occurring may not be true or helpful. Any thoughts that are negative that are occurring are because your nervous system has been stuck in a state of survival for a prolonged period of time, and your brain has been wired over time to think in this way. When you are ready, we are going to practice shifting from mind to body. We're not resisting our thoughts, as this just creates more negative thinking. It is like if I told you, don't think of a pink elephant. I know it is the first thought that took place for you just now. Instead, see if you can begin to treat your thoughts like background characters in a movie. Background characters are always there, but unfortunately for them, no one really focuses on them. Slow down your breathing and allow your thoughts to fade to the background. Now, scan your body from head to toe and first notice if you feel any sympathetic sensations of fight or flight, or any dorsal vagal sensations of freeze or shut down. Allow yourself to explore and track any dysregulation you're currently feeling in your body. Also, notice if any emotions are taking place within. Practice being curious about where you're feeling sensations of emotions in your body. Having insight that your negative thinking is occurring based on the state of your nervous system. Place your hand or hands right over where you're feeling emotions or dysregulation in your body. Begin to breathe directly into the area. With a sense of compassion and care, allow your breath and touch to soften and soothe the sensations without trying to change them. Continue to explore the sensations occurring in your body. Now, scan your body and notice where you're feeling pleasant or neutral sensations. If you're having troubles finding a pleasant or neutral sensation, practice rubbing your hands together. Attend to the sensations that your touch creates. Give yourself permission to drop into the sensations with each exhale. Allowing yourself to embody these sensations and explore them. Restoring safety by exploring and tracking this pleasant or neutral sensation. Let yourself breathe warm air directly into this area, and as you exhale, feeling everything in your body loosen and soften. Loosening the muscles in your face and jaw. Letting your neck soften and your shoulders drop. Allow your arms and hands to relax. Let your chest and abdomen be at ease. And loosening your legs. Finally, Practice shifting your focus between pleasant and unpleasant sensations in your body. Letting yourself have a natural rhythm of focusing back and forth. Teaching your nervous system you are safe to be in your body. Take one final moment of being in your body. When you are ready, open your eyes and return to the room.
So we hope this practice was helpful. Now, me and Anne have two agencies.
Yeah.
We have our therapy practice, Pain Psychotherapy Canada, where we walk people through education and practices one-on-one. We're able to work with people across Canada. Now, our second agency, Embody Community, offers a full digital course. It has over 10 hours of education, 60 plus somatic practices, brain retraining techniques, and the meditation you just listened to came from the digital course. So if you need support in healing your chronic pain, chronic illness, consider following the links down below in the description of this episode for both of our agencies. So thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. For more free content, check out the links for our YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook accounts in the episode description.
We wish you all healing.